WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the WDW NewsCast. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, 2011. I am, as always, your host, Lou Mongello. I am from WDWRadio.com, helping you enjoy, appreciate, and explore the Walt Disney World theme parks with my podcast, newscast, audio guides, trivia books, celebrations magazine, and lots more. You can check it all out over at WDWRadio.com. Big thanks to our sponsor for this week's newscast. Our friends over at touringplans.com are not only the geniuses behind the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World, but they will help you maximize your time in the Disney parks, in Disneyland or Walt Disney World. What if you came to Walt Disney World and could save up to 4 hours per day in the Disney parks? I don't care if you're a first-timer or this is your 1,000th time here. It's a great way to maximize your time there. They've got the Lines application, crowd calendars, touring plans, fast pass wait times, and lots more. Also, pretty good blog. Check it out over at touringplans.com/WDW Radio. Couple of quick announcements before we start off this week's newscast. Again, big thanks to everybody who went out and nominated WDW Radio for a 2011 Podcast Award. If you can, please head on over to podcastawards.com every day from now until October 27th and vote for WDW Radio in the travel category once per day. Be sure and use a real email address because they will verify your vote via email. Also, if you're going to be in Walt Disney World next weekend, it is time once again for our annual WDW Radio Food and Wine Festival Walkabout. And this walkabout this year is going to be on Sunday, October 23rd, starting at 11 a.m. and ending whenever we make our way around the entire promenade through all of the different food and some wine kiosks. We're going to stop and explore and sample food from all the different kiosks. We're also going to record some audio and video for the show. So if you're in Walt Disney World, please feel free and come by. We're going to meet on the walkway where Future World meets World Showcase at 11. Start making our way around that way. Visit DisneyMeets.com. We'll also try and put a couple of times and locations where we'll stop throughout the day. Also, follow me on Twitter. I am at Lou Mongello. I'll be tweeting along the way as to where we are and where we are going next. Anyway, on to this week's Walt Disney World news. Not a lot going on as far as big news is concerned. Couple little things of note. First, Big Thunder Mountain is going to be closed for a lengthy refurbishment starting January 9th, 2012. Not just for a couple of weeks, but for a few months. It's going to reopen on May 28th. So again, it sounds like it could be more than maybe just a simple repainting and refreshing of Big Thunder Mountain. Interesting to see what changes, if any, come to the attraction there. Dumbo is actually set to close on that same day as well. You know it's going to be moving over to Storybook Circus. It's going to be getting a second Dumbo in that queue-less queue. That's going to close on January 9th. It's supposed to reopen February 18th, which is very interesting. That leads us to believe, I would assume, that Storybook Circus is going to open probably about that same time as well. We've been hearing that the Great Goofini, the Storybook Circus train station, may open around that time as well. So we could be looking sometime in February, as early as that, for that first phase of the new Fantasyland Storybook Circus to start opening in some phases. Again, we'll know more probably after the first of the year. A couple of other quick things of note. I was in Disney's Animal Kingdom last week and noticed that Festival of the Lion King was actually testing out a Fast Pass system that ended on October 15th. You would pick up your Fast Pass over at the Tough to Be a Bug Fast Pass area, and it makes me wonder if that's going to be a test of a system specifically for that attraction, for these type of shows, or is it maybe a sign of something that's to come for either Festival of the Lion King or possibly that whole section of Disney's Animal Kingdom? As I'm sure you probably heard, over the last couple of days, James Cameron and some of the executives, including Joe Rohde from Imagineering and Tom Staggs, were in Disney's Animal Kingdom exploring the park, taking a close look at a lot of attractions and areas away from guests, getting an idea of really sort of hitting the ground in person to get an idea of what may be coming for Avatar Land. Again, very, very far off. Also, just a couple of days ago, as we mentioned last week, the free in-room wireless started over in Walt Disney World. I'd love to hear from those of you who are planning trips or have maybe experienced it, how the free wireless service is, and if you're thinking about coming in the future, how is that possibly going to change the way you travel? Are you now going to bring your laptop that maybe you wouldn't before? Is it something you're thinking about streaming movies for the kids at night before they go to sleep? Is it going to maybe keep you in your room more? Don't do work. You're on vacation. So says the man that does work on vacation. Also, and finally, this is more of a rumor than it is news, but I'm starting to get a little bit more confirmation of something that we've been hearing for a while. I spoke a while back about the testing, pardon the unintended pun, over at Test Track of a new vehicle that had a new body design, lights, and color scheme. The one that was on the track was this metallic blue. It was branded with the Chevrolet brand right up on front. That was tested for a few days, probably about a month or two ago. I'm hearing more rumors that Test Track may in fact actually close on April 2012 for about 5 months for a big refreshing of the attraction reopening in September. What that leads us to believe is that General Motors may have come to an agreement with Disney to continue their sponsorship of the attraction and allow them to refresh it. The possibility that we're hearing, and again, this is just rumor, is that whole idea of a test track and this test lab theme is going to be changed. It's going to focus more on the design, the innovative side of General Motors and future car technology, focusing not just on the changes to the body styles on the outside, but more importantly, what's going on inside, the technology that's found inside new cars, specifically, obviously, GM vehicles. The Q is also going to be completely gutted from what we understand. That is going to, again, go away from that test lab idea and is really going to focus heavily on a lot of that next gen, a lot of that interactive technology. We hear about this Disney Next Gen project, what it may be bringing as far as the interactive experiences in the parks and the resorts, in the attractions and the queues. This may be one of the places where they really get to show off some of the cool stuff that I'm sure they're working on. So the question for the week, the question that I have for you is, does the idea of Test Track being refreshed, does it excite you? Is it something that really gets you excited? Do you think it needed it? Do you think it needed to be refreshed? Or look, if you go to the parks now, you still see it's very, very popular. A lot of people who are in the chat room are saying, yeah, they would love to see a refreshing of Test Track. Some people are saying they would like to see some sort of a Cars overlay, much like what they're doing out in Disney's California Adventure. Some people think it's already exciting and scary in a good way. Others say Test Track was getting a little bit dated. Devaney says they'd like to see Cars Land in Test Track. That's a whole separate conversation about sort of tying in the synergy of the movies to attractions like that. Does Cars fit in with Test Track? Does Cars fit in with the Grand Prix Raceway over in Tomorrowland? If you think Test Track doesn't need to be refreshed, what does? What attraction do you think in Walt Disney World does need to be refreshed? And let's keep on Test Track. Could it? Should it? Would you like to see some sort of a Cars overlay? Please come by and comment in the show notes over at WDWRadio.com. If you can't hear the newscast live every week, I'll post the video on the blog over at WDWRadio.com. I'll also post the audio in iTunes and the videos also on YouTube as well. Better yet, in addition to leaving a text comment there, I'd love for you guys to test out our new voicemail line. I have a new number, just testing it out this week. That number is 407-900-9391. Again, that's 407-900-9WDW. Let us know, do you think that Test Track, does the idea of it being refreshed and refurbished excite you? What do you think you'd like to see there? Would you like to see a lot of those interactive next-gen technologies? Would you like to see some type of a Cars overlay? Again, share your thoughts both at WDWRadio.com or by calling the new voicemail line. That is going to do it for this week. Again, be sure and join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDW NewsCast, and come by the site, check out the blog, our contest, our photo galleries, lots more going on there. Lots of ways to help you sort of enjoy and appreciate Walt Disney World, including the new Disney World Trivia and the free WDW Radio iPhone app. That is going to do it for this week's show. Thanks so much to all of you who are watching live in the box, watching on YouTube or on the blog, or are listening in the iTunes feed. That is going to do it for this week. Again, I am Lou Mangello. I appreciate you taking your time this and every week to tune in and listen. So until next time, have a great week, everybody. See ya.